I wish I had me some tea. I feel like I need to be drinking tea right now.
We are live. We are live. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have look, let me introduce myself for those who don't know me. If they're looking at this on social media, because it'll be uploaded to YouTube too. So I am Tenake Bestseller, Tanisha. It's a long story. I don't have time to explain it tonight. My name is spelled like Tanita. If you are writing out $1 million checks, write it to Tanita Johnson. Yes. I am a best-selling author 15 times over. Try saying that fast. 15 times over. Editor, publisher, ghostwriter, all of those good things. More than anything, tonight we are on to talk about a very special conference that I have the honor of being the host of, called the Red Ink Conference. So over the years, people have told me, you can't keep calling this a conference because it's a whole experience. Like, it's not a conference. I swear, revival broke out in Detroit. So it's so much more than just a conference. But tonight, I wanted to take the time to interview a beautiful person, a beautiful soul. I met her in Atlanta, and I swear she followed me across the nation after that. Wherever the red ink was, I swear she was showing up. Miss Coard, I'm not gonna jack up her first name. I'm gonna let her introduce herself because people do it to me all the time. It's like Tanaka and Tanita, and I know both of them is wrong. So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, tell people who you are, what you've written, what you do day to day, where you are right now, because you are not at home. Yeah.
Yeah, so hello everybody, and thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to share. I was so excited. She was like, Red Ink interview. Yes. So yeah, I'm Tenake Coard. I am a 3 times published author. Published 3
how
books.
Many?
Three.
In how many
times.
years? In how many years?
In 10 months.
Okay, all right. So 3 books in 10 months?
Yes, and I'm on the 4th one, pushing the 4th one out now.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear that they heard that part. Okay.
Okay, because she is gonna get on you guys. Okay. So no excuses. But yeah, I am so I'm Tenake Coard. I'm an author. I'm also a nurse, and that has been my first career. I'm a nurse. My specialty is psychiatric mental health nursing. And I really specialize in women's addictions and adolescence. And oh gosh, what else did you tell me to say? I'll just tell about myself. So yeah, so that's what I do now, work. I am here in Los Angeles. Yeah. I just relocated here just a few days ago. So I am so excited.
Now pause. You relocated to LA from where?
From North Carolina.
Yeah.
From North Carolina. So from North Carolina, I literally made a big jump. Actually, and listen, it's a long story. But I came from South Carolina, okay, born and raised. I was in North Carolina for about really exactly 1 year to the date. And then had no idea. I planned to be there for some years, and opportunity presented itself, and I moved to LA. So here I am. I'm excited. Tomorrow I start a new job as a nurse care manager for women's mental health. So I'm excited about that, and I'm just excited about how God has really allowed my my ministry as a writer, because I believe writing is a ministry, and how God has allowed that to literally be married, to my career field. But I got out of it for a little while, but he has a way of pointing us back to the thing that, he has for us to do.
Look, he about to put you on Real Nurses of LA. Look.
Is that a show?
It's not a show.
Come on, you're gonna get some royalties for this one.
Right. Because if they actually film it, listen, I need some royalties because I spoke it here first.
My God, Real Nurses of LA. Listen
Listen.
here. And I'm actually gonna be working at a clinic that actually filmed Grey's Anatomy. That
Wow.
I had no idea that I'm gonna literally working at the place
Okay.
that filmed Grey's Anatomy. Listen, we'll talk more about that one.
That's huge.
See,
Okay, yeah, because we'll be
this
here
is
all
why
night.
this is why people got to be connected to you in the red ink, because no, seriously, because of the ideas, because of the ingenuity, because of the creativity. Like literally, that's what I got, something totally, and I know you're going to get into that, but I got something totally from both red ink conferences I attended, and even from following you as the best-selling author, as the writing guru, publishing guru, like all of that. That's what I get, is it stretches me in my creativity, and it
Yes.
causes us to come up. It literally pushes you. So it's like, if you're gonna not do the book, you almost have to like not follow you anymore.
You're
Or
gonna be mad. You're just gonna
exactly,
be mad. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
All right. So I want to go back to 2018.
Yeah,
2018. That was the very first year I took the Red Ink Conference outside of the city of Detroit. The very first city we hit was Atlanta. But of course, a storm came. In the
yeah,
middle of planning the conference, here comes a hurricane
right.
that that hit, what was it, North Carolina and South Carolina.
Yeah, actually, it was the Carolinas,
It
and
hit
it
the
was
It hit the Carolinas, but it did not touch Georgia.
right, exactly. It was sunny in Georgia.
Yeah, yeah. So tell the people you've registered for the Red Ink. This storm hits.
Mhm.
What happens?
Yes. So I registered for Red Ink in June, because I remember that when I seen it being put out there, I knew that I wanted to be an author. I was writing, I had not yet published my book, and I needed that push. I needed to, if you're gonna be an author, you need to be around authors. I'm gonna just put that out there.
Yes,
You need to change your environment. And
correct.
so when I seen that, and I seen you, I seen your picture, just talking about editing, talking about publishing. I'm like, I need all of that. Like, I've never even had the opportunity. Come on now. Okay, I'm not gonna preach. I'm gonna just stick to the question.
Right,
But I never
right,
had the opportunity, because it's something about when we let opportunities pass us by. You got opportunity to be around people who can help you produce. So
correct.
I immediately registered. I registered VIP, because that's just me. And I was like, I want it all. Okay, the goodie bags, whatever they're giving out extra, even if it's just a piece of candy, I want
Right,
it. So I
right.
registered for the conference in June, booked my hotel. Fast forward, like you said, hurricane came. The conference was in September. So the hurricane came, and I'm a nurse, so I was working at a job full time.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you the long story short version of this is that as nurses, we are essential employees. And
Yes.
essential means that you're supposed to be at work. But I did not work on Saturday, because this conference was 9 to 5, right?
How you essential at a conference, ma'am? I'm essential, but I'm not gonna be there. I'm sorry.
So I wasn't scheduled to work on Saturday, because my shift was Monday through Friday, but I really feel like this was a test of my faith, in terms of becoming an author, in terms of again, connecting with beautiful people that would help me shift from where I was to where I needed to be and where I was going. And
Yes.
so I pretty much got a memo saying that, that I needed to be there. They needed me to work. I tried to find people to work for me. They rejected it. They were like, no, you got to be here. You cannot go more than a 50-mile radius. And I was in Columbia, South Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia was definitely more than 50 miles.
Yes.
So they were like, you cannot go outside of a 50-mile radius. So I remember literally with tears in my eyes, and I did not understand this, but something was being birthed. Mind you, at that point, I was not a published author yet. I was writing. But I remember crying, almost like crying, tears were in my eyes. And I said, God, what do I do? Because I know my job was on the line. And I
Yes.
said, God, what do I do? Because I was willing to, first of all, the first thing I did was check my email to find out maybe had you gotten a memo and, decided to cancel the conference. And I
Nope.
remember just reading your email, and it was very, it was polite, it was professional, but what it said was that this must go on. There was
Yes.
something in that even really hit me. It must go on. It was like a mandate on that conference, on that red
Wow.
ink. It was a mandate. It had to go on. And I said, oh my God, so she's not canceling it. And I knew it wasn't even about the money or who paid. It was like, you know what? This thing has been orchestrated and we got to go forward. So I had to make a decision. So I said, well, God, I can, you know, just forfeit what I paid, or I can forfeit my room and all that. But God wasn't telling me to do that. And so I heard the one question. And the question was, are you going to choose purpose or are you going to choose comfort?
That's good.
Are you going to choose purpose? Are you going to choose comfort? Are you going to, I have but one or two things to do. So I remember my boss called me in the office. So I decided, I printed out my receipts. I showed them. I said, clearly they can see that this was done in June. There's no way I would have known a hurricane was coming in September. Yep. And I printed my documents, scanned them in, and I was called in the office. And my boss said to me, Tanika, I cannot let you go. And my words to her, I said, with all due respect, I am not asking your permission. I have to be there. This is my purpose. I felt like, I don't even know, but I mean, tears were in my eyes and I wanted her to understand. I don't want to lose my job, but you guys, I knew from a young girl that God called me to be an author. I see myself as an author, but it's something about when you see yourself, but you have no idea how to get there.
Yeah.
You got that big space in between on how do you get there. And here, this was an opportunity for me to get a greater insight and clarity on what God had shown me. Yeah. But yet I had to make a decision.
Yeah. Like you said, stay right there. Make a decision. Because a lot of people, we get stuck in the teeter-totter and we on the seesaw. We make a decision. Just decide today. Yeah.
Make a decision.
Sometimes it really is that simple, because that one decision could change your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost you something too. Know that decision is going to cost you something. Mm-hmm. But it would have cost me something to not go also.
Yes.
It was going to cost me another delay, possibly another denial.
Yes.
Because here I am now, having published, you know, how many books since then, but had I not made a decision, it was still going to cost me something.
Now you come to the conference, and I want to do this kind of out of order, but you come to the conference, you leave the conference, what happens with your job when you get back home?
Well, you mean with me as an author, or me as at the job, or what?
At the job.
Well, at the job, I got back and sure enough, I had emails that were up to the roof, all the way up to HR, saying pretty much that I violated protocol, policy, and all of that. And I pretty much responded with all my scanned documents, and pretty much saying the same thing, that this was something that I couldn't control. I already had registered for this conference. I tried to even find my replacement for me being put on the schedule for a day that I don't even normally work. So right. I really felt like it was an internal attack, but I felt like it was also an external attack. External meaning the hurricane, external meaning the job and the people in management there, and internal meaning me coming face to face with me and what I needed to do. Ultimately, I did not end up getting fired from my job, but I did ended up resigning just months after, which catapulted me and my career anyway, because it allowed me to see, even with being an author, that there was more for me.
So much more.
Yeah, there was so much more for me. I mean, gosh, yeah.
So stick a pin in that part. Let's go back to Atlanta. You come to the conference. This is a one-day conference. It's on a Saturday. We're in the middle of this storm. But Atlanta is fine. It's the Carolinas that are torn up.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like when you because this was your first one. So what was your experience like? And how did you find out about it? Did you find out about it through Lakeisha Dixon? Because I know she was one of the speakers, or did you find out about it another way?
That's how I found out about it through Lakeisha. She
Okay,
posted it on her page, and then so because I was following her, then I saw it, and then I ended up following you. So
got it.
that's how I knew about it.
Okay,
First of all, my first impression, it was done in excellence. We know how conferences can be and how events can be. They start in late, people not there, just all kind of things. It was done in total excellence. From the
yeah,
time I walked in, the table, the arrangements, even before I got into the actual venue that held the actual conference, outside the vendors that were out there,
hmm,
people that had their books displayed. It just was exciting because for the first time, I felt a part, even
yeah,
though I was not a published author yet, but I felt a part, and I knew that this is it. This needs to be my circle. If you're trying to become an author, you need to drop everything and do everything that you can do to invest in being around people who already have it, who already got it, who are already there. And
yeah,
sometimes we think that, we think the other way around, that if I get around somebody that knows more than me, or they're doing more than me, or they're publishing or whatever, then that's going to take away my shine. But really, it's going to add to you,
correct.
because you're in a place where, and almost like in a dark place again, where you can see that this is what I want to do, or I'm supposed to do, but how do you get there? So
Right,
that was the first
and I'm
thing.
glad you said it that way, because I used to post a lot. It's like, I'm not dimming my light, so you're gonna have to shine brighter, because I'm
Woo,
not dimming my
wow,
light to
that's
make
good.
you shine brighter. So you got to, hey, up the wattage, do whatever you got to do, but
That's
it is what it
good.
is. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow, that's good. That's good. Oh my gosh. And
yeah.
that's what it was. I met awesome people in there. I would say the first thing that really stretched me, because it was a power pack day, 9 to 5. I remember it.
All day.
I'm like, this is a master class. Like, listen, college course ain't got nothing on this. It stretched me so much. But one of the things that really stuck out to me was when, first of all, your seriousness about the event. It wasn't just an event, it wasn't just a conference, or it wasn't just a show, but it was serious. Like, I am here to help you guys learn how to, first of all, recognize that you have a story. That was
Yes,
the first thing. Recognize that you have a story. Recognize that, because some people, again, they're like, oh, I want to be an author one day, or I think I could, or they have this powerful testimony where they're like, I don't really know how to package this, but I'm supposed to tell something. That's your book. That's
correct.
your book. You have a powerful testimony, but also you need to be able to articulate it in excellence. You need to be able to package it in excellence.
Right.
So that was another thing. The first thing, recognizing that we have a story, recognizing that your story has an audience.
Yes,
So that, all that was just stretching me, recognizing that it is important how you package your story,
yes,
because how you package it is how it's going to reach people.
correct.
And I think the assignment that really blew my mind was what I thought was a simple assignment. And then she gave it to us on lunch break. Gave us this assignment on lunch break. We had a good meal, but gave us this assignment, which was write your bio.
Uh-huh.
Write your bio. And then it was like, it needed to be 150 words, right?
Yep.
And it needed to not, start about, I'm a minister and I was baptized here and I've been saved this many years and
Right.
this is my mama and this is where I was born and raised. But it really needs to reach your target audience.
Yes.
And so that assignment stretched me. And it was with that assignment that I actually realized that God had given me the ability to transform through my writing.
That's
I
good.
went to the hotel room that night and I remember thinking, but because he was saying, I've made you, I've given you transformation through your writing, but I kept saying, but I haven't done this yet. So it was difficult for me to comprehend it, because I was like, I don't have books out there yet. But it really was birthed in me at that conference, and I'm sure
Yeah.
it's somewhere in the journal because I wrote about it.
But
Um,
I'm glad you said it the way you said it, because one of the taglines that I use for my company, not so much for the red ink, but for
mhm.
my company, is transforming the world through words, literally. So that's one of the, we have several, but that's one of the slogans or taglines, if you will, that I use, because you really can transform the world through your words. Because if there's life and death in the power of the tongue, whatever we speak, whatever we write, whatever we put into a song, whatever we put into a book, it's going to speak for us long after we're not. Maya Angelou's stuff is still speaking, and she's not here.
True.
She's not here, but her words can speak and still be powerful, even though she's not physically still in the earth.
Wow, that's so true.
Yes.
So true.
So,
oh my God.
So you came to, okay, now the bio, the whole bio thing with the contest, that how'd you do? Because I don't remember.
Honestly, I don't remember if I actually went up to read mine, but
Okay.
I definitely got it done. I definitely realized what I got from that assignment is that you have to stand up in who you are. Because one of the things at the Red Ink that was repeated, in the presentation with the speakers, even with yourself, was what sets you apart in your industry or your niche or whatever you're writing about.
Right.
What sets you apart? What makes you the expert? Because it's really not, and I'm learning this even for myself, and it's mind-blowing. It's really not that you have all these degrees or you have all of this, that, and the other, but what sets you apart when you even with my first book, A Beautiful You, when I'm writing to young girls and I'm talking about depression and suicidality, but it took me so long to comprehend that, Tanika, that was you as a teenager who tried to commit suicide, but you didn't die. Even when your mom, your dad, no one understood. No one could comprehend. No one knew what suicidality was or what depression was. They were like, girl, I'm gonna kill myself. Girl, don't you disrespect me. Don't you, they're looking at it like that. And so what transformation happened in me at that time that I can now take that and put words to it and help someone else to transform their life and their minds while they're going through it. And so that was what really was stretching us, was, come on, you guys, dig into yourselves. Like that's what we were being made to do. Dig into yourselves. And really, you guys, you were causing us to go beyond the superficial and really dig deep. So you want to be an author, but what sets you apart? Why would I buy your book?
Right. And people don't like to hear that because it comes off kind of hard and kind of harsh. But I tell them, it's like, I might buy your book to support because I like supporting authors, but don't ask me if I read it, because 9 times out of 10 the answer is no.
Right.
I just, number one, I don't have time unless it's something that I really, really want to read. Like now I'm reading scripts because I'm getting into script writing. So I'm not reading a whole lot of books. And then I'm also, like, I heard Tyler Perry say this before, I can't read a whole bunch of people's stuff, because if it even mirrors your stuff a little bit, then you're going to try and sue me and say that I took your idea or it was similar to your book. So it gets tricky. It gets tricky in the industry. So the whole creative genius and creative ideas and copyright and all of that, it can be a whole, as you ascend, it's a whole thing of she took my idea or he took my idea or whatever it is, it will become an issue. So I don't read a whole lot of other people's books. I'll support it. I'll get it signed. I'll take a picture with them. But 9 times out of 10, I'm not reading the book. So you came to Atlanta. Then you met me where next?
Woo-hoo! I met you in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, Charlotte, 2019. Woo! Yes.
Yeah. And that was totally different, because with Charlotte, is my lighting still on? Excuse me.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. So Charlotte was totally different. And actually a friend wanted to go. I had a friend that really, started seeing some of your content and was interested in being able to do more and was pulling on me. And I'm like, hey, this conference is coming up. So as a result of me telling her about it and she registered, I ended up going. Honestly, thought I was going to get the same exact thing. No. Honestly, I mean, maybe not the same exact thing, but I thought I was going to get close to the same thing.
And what was different about Charlotte versus Atlanta?
The first thing that was different about Charlotte versus Atlanta was how do you was marketing for one.
Yes.
A lot of marketing, and also taking your book to the next level. For me, if I had my own title to it, I would say taking your book to the next level.
Okay.
Mr. Was it Mr.
Brother Bedford. Brother Bedford.
Bedford. Him, but everybody that was there, everybody that spoke, Ms. Hammond, everybody that spoke, everything that everybody shared, it was, how do you now take your your words off the pages? How do you cause your baby to walk?
Right.
How do you cause your baby to mature and grow up? How do you get your book into the hands of the people, into the hearts of the people that it was meant for?
Right. And the thing I love, you mentioned Brother Bedford. I want to go back to something, because even though it was my conference, understand I'm learning too. Something that Brother Bedford said in Charlotte that I didn't hear him say in Detroit. He said, if you're not making $100,000 a year, it's because you're lazy.
Oh my gosh.
It's because you're lazy. And I said, oh, wait, who he talking to? He said, because if you have multiple books and there are multiple streams of income tied to just one book, now I got 15. It's no reason why. He's like, you have not maximized the opportunity that God has put in your hands. If you are not making $100,000 a year, it's not because nobody won't put me on, I didn't have an opportunity, I don't know what to do. It's because you're lazy.
Wow.
Powerful. And that stuck with me from Charlotte, and I'm the host. Like, oh, he just changed the game. Like, he just dropped the mic and walked out the room. Like, yeah. And then Solandia, I had Solandia with me in Atlanta. So you saw her in Atlanta.
And Charlotte, yes.
And Charlotte. And then you saw her in Charlotte. So this year on the virtual experience, we got Solandia, we got Brother Bedford, and we got like 8 other people. We have 11 speakers. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And this is 2 parts, right?
This is 2. So this year we're doing 2 half days, half day Friday and then half day Saturday. There's actually an all male panel, which is something we've never done. The all male panel about what they like to write and what they like to read and what they don't want to read. Because a lot of, and I wanted to do that because when I work with a lot of women, what they come to me and say is, well, my book is for men and women. And I'm like, no, it's not. You're gonna get your feelings hurt, because we don't write and talk like men talk.
Right.
So I'm really interested to see what they're gonna say on
that's gonna be interesting. Gonna be interesting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that also confirms that we need to have a target audience. Like we can't just say, oh, I'm writing to men and women, or I'm writing to all adolescents, or I'm writing to I'm just writing the singles,
Right. It's too broad. Too broad.
Yeah.
Broad. What were some of your key takeaways specifically from Charlotte, if you can remember the 2? I know you were at
both. So definitely from one of the takeaways from Charlotte, one of the biggest takeaways from Charlotte was that your book alone is not going to make you a millionaire or a 6-figure earner.
Correct.
And like you said, with Brother Bedford, how he talked about, if you're not making 6 figures, you're lazy. When he got up to present and really just talked about how you know how many books you would have to sell, and this guy was doing math. I mean, this was not your average conference. This guy was doing math. This guy was really breaking it down for you. And he was like, do you know how many books you would have to sell
to get to $1 million?
Yeah, $1 million. Do you know? And right there, if you did not stretch your mind, you would just give up right there, because it would have been discouraging. Like, oh my God, I thought this was what I was going to do. But no, you had to open up your mind and hear and receive. And he literally talked about like at least 7 different ways. And I remember writing them down, but at least 7 different ways that you could actually get into making 6 figures off of one book. And what changed my mind was he talked about how he began to think about his books as business cards.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
He gives them, if you notice, Brother Bedford was the only person at the conference that did not have a table. He gives them away. He gives them away. That's his business card. His book is his business card.
That's what he said. And I'm gonna let y'all know I'm not giving out books as business cards yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
But it definitely stretched my mind and made me think that we need to think on a higher level. We need to be thinking, seminars, webinars, conferences. We need to be thinking about coaching programs, like the things that he was thinking about, and consulting. I mean, he said, this is really where you guys need to be, because you are the expert. So that was one thing. Realizing that that was one of my takeaways, that a book is multiple streams. And I could never see it, even when you used to post about it. I'm like, where? But a book is multiple streams.
Yeah.
And also, you need to what do you call this? I'm trying to figure out the word I'm trying to say, but connecting with other people, getting with other people, collaborating, networking, getting with other people about what it is that you do, because it's possible that the thing that you do warrants you publishing a book, warrants you, doing coaching, doing seminars, doing webinars, but no one knows it, because again, it goes back to the first conference, standing up, owning your story, owning that means your struggles, your past, your shames, your pains, all of that, and your victories, standing up in that, and then being able to open up your mouth and letting people know what it is that you do, what it is that you have to offer. Yeah.
So here's what I always say. Like you said, you're not going to become a millionaire off a $10 book. Not likely right away. Michelle Obama's book is what, $35? It ain't $10. So, but on the flip side of that, I tell people the book is a gateway. The book is a door. It's a gate. And we know with doors and gates, they lead to something on the other side. So if you just look at the book as a gate or a door, I'm going through that gate, I'm publishing that book to get to something on the other side of that door or gate. That's not the promise. That's not the millions. The gate, when I pull up to a mansion, the gate is there leading to the mansion, but I haven't got to the mansion yet. I'm at the gate. So most people stop at the gate because they turn around and get discouraged at the gate, because it costs too much to publish a book. I don't know how. Won't nobody help me? I don't know what to do. Google it. Even if you don't want to pay me, Google your way into your book. You can YouTube your way into writing a book today. There are thousands of videos, I'm sure. So I always tell people the book is a gate. It's a gate or a door, and it's to something greater. Like you said, more speaking engagements, coaching, consulting, webinars, stage plays. We'll talk about all that at the Red Ink virtual experience in September. For you, what were the things on the other side of the door or the gate, if you will, that once you release these books, okay, now boom, these things open up?
Oh my gosh, definitely speaking engagements. I definitely was contacted for multiple speaking engagements. It also helped to fine tune my niche as an author, as a coach, as an author, and as a coach. Because when you said I'm a coach, I'm a life coach. Well, everybody is a life coach. Like,
everybody. I'm sick of it. Okay, throw the whole term away.
Absolutely. They say I'm a life coach, and that's with or without a certification, but they say I'm a life coach. I coach people too. But no one's just hiring you, or no one's even listening to you talk about being a life coach. They want to know, what do you do? What problem do you solve? How can someone read what you have or hear what you have to say and their lives be transformed, and it not take 90 days, in a moment, and that was another exercise that we did too, pitching what your book was about, in 60 seconds, a couple of minutes, and can you grasp somebody's attention? And being honest, would you buy that person's book after,
Right.
a minute or two of them saying this is what it's about?
Right.
For
So
me,
I think you all had to write the bio and you had to write the pitch, and then some people had to get up and pitch. And I think the pitch
yes,
was 30 or 60 seconds. So yeah.
yes, yes. It stretched us. It absolutely stretched us.
Yeah.
But again, it was already in us, so you caused us to dig deep. So definitely speaking engagements, the coaching, helping fine-tune coaching, also helping me to changing my perspective. Also, you've shared your testimony a lot about being in corporate America, and with the high salary, and now where you are now full-time doing what you love to do.
Yep.
And hearing that testimony, it made me think about how, you know what, Tenake, you never know what can happen at any moment on your job. Like, you need to be preparing yourself now. Like, these people who have been assigned to your life, who've been assigned before your eyes, they're not just here for any reason, but they're here for an example, and they're here for, warning, so to speak, or, you just need to change your mindset about how you're looking at a job. And it changed how I went to work, where I went to work for experience more so than going to work to get paid, but or going to work thinking that this is where I'm going to be for the next 10, 15 years. I'm just looking for the next promotion. But no, how does this experience or my job duties, how do they, again, fine tune my niche as an author? And even
your first book, and your first book is centered around your day-to-day job. So it speaks to nursing, and it speaks to specific things in nursing. So now you've got a promotion in nursing, but who knows that book didn't play a role in you relocating from North Carolina to now LA. And now I got all these nurses ringing my phone like, Tenake sent me to you, like, I'm working on a book. And I'm like, where are these nurses coming from? I said, you need a whole nurse cohort, like y'all like a sorority. They just coming out the woodworks ringing my phone.
Yes. Yeah.
But how do you know? And maybe you do, maybe you don't know. Did the book play a role in your promotion to move from now North Carolina to LA?
Definitely. I definitely think so. Let me see, I started this job in September. So between September and I think it was May that I released this book. So finished writing and released the book. Everything that was going on around me, it was like I took those energies and I took it as fuel for me to write. And I also knew that there was more. And I knew that, okay, I'm not going to ask permission for a job or a boss or anybody. I'm not going to ask for permission to be who I am. There was a time where I even got in trouble for journaling at the job because people thought that I was writing on them, or they thought something strange.
Wow.
And so people, because I'm totally extrovert, but at the job, you get to a point where you just, people can't handle you or your extraness.
Yeah,
and so
you're extroverted.
Hello. So I have to journal, and a lot of my journaling, I was able to take a lot of those moments and use them as entry points for that day's devotional or whatnot. Yeah. And also with COVID happening, with the book, The Art of Compassion, 21-Day Inspirational Guide for Nurses, I didn't know COVID was going to be happening. Like, I couldn't have predicted that. But I do know that the oppression that it caused, not just nurses, but people that were going through things, even me myself, I lost 3 relatives, to death during the time of COVID. Yes. So yes. I needed that compassion as well. So
you on mute. It muted you. It's muted. You muted. Sorry, I don't know why your phone automatically muted on us.
Oh my goodness, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
So it allowed me to really just tap into my greater desires, my desire to make more of an impact in nursing, my desire to be able to make impact not just in the lives of my patients, but like you said, you know, there are so many nurses. Like, what if you guys got together? What if you guys did a collaboration? Or you know, you just never know. And I still don't know the whole thing. Me moving here, I know that there is something greater, like you said, a gate, you know, a door. You know, I'm on the brink of cusp of releasing my 4th book, and I already have my 5th book that is 2 chapters. And so, so I already have my next book that I'm gonna start, and it really deals with what happened to me. So not only did I write a book in a few months of being on my last job because of everything that we're dealing with on the inside, rather than just internalizing it, but I began to write, and turn it into a message. But now I have another book that I have because of the experience that I went through, just trying to get out of there, just trying to be great. It's like, why you want to hate somebody for being great? But it's okay, because we don't have to worry about those people or those things. Stay focused on your target audience. And another thing I found out from, you know, your conference is that you can write multiple books. Like, you're the first person that I met real life that has so many books. And I'm like, and I'm gonna be honest, people will be like, I've literally had somebody to tell me this before, that I need to slow down, that I'm going too fast. I'm talking about people that are supposed to be friends.
They like, you doing the most, slow down. No, you're not doing enough. No.
And I was like, oh my God. And they said, God told me to tell you that you just need to be still. You just doing something. Yeah. So your life, your testimony, you're being a multi, like you said, 15 times over best-selling author. It really spoke to me to let me know that these, you know, 30 titles that I got somewhere tucked away in my journals, that they will be published, and they deserve to be published, because somebody's breakthrough is on the other side of you telling your story. Somebody else's breakthrough is on the other side of you telling your story, and not just telling your story, but getting with someone and being willing to invest. If it is all you have, I'm being honest. My connection to becoming an author, I spent my last $100 that I had in the bank.
That's all right.
And I'm just being honest. That was my story, because I just knew. First of all, I prayed to God about it, and God was like, don't trust your bank account, trust me. And I really do believe it with God. But when I say the rest has been history, I've never seen such a dry day in my life before. I've never seen such a dry day, but I had to make the decision. And so just being willing to invest in where you are, and not keep waiting, saying, well, if I get a better job, or if I be able to get more money, or if I am able to or even overthinking it so much, not even just writing, because that's another thing. And like I said, it was so many points, but you hire an editor. That's why you don't try to edit while you're writing, or you don't not write because you're concerned about how it's going to come out sounding. You hire an editor.
No. Yeah. And so, God, I'm probably going to teach on this at the Red Ink virtual experience as well. But just so you know, since you've seen me, the Lord has even shifted my methods of writing, which is.
Wow. Oh, it's freezing.
Book so fast. And so, can you still hear me? You had froze for a moment. Okay. So I literally did a webinar. Oh, that's my internet connection. I literally did a webinar yesterday. Got it transcribed yesterday. Wow. It's in a Word document today. Sent it to the editor tonight. It'll probably be edited tomorrow or Wednesday. It'll be an ebook by Friday.
You're not playing. No,
because the content is there. A lot of times we just don't have it in the form that we want it in. So you got to take the necessary steps to get it in the form that you want it in. That's so good. I want to thank you. I don't want to hold you. It's 8 o'clock. I know it's like 6 o'clock. No. 5 o'clock.
5. It's still
5 o'clock.
daylight. I still can go out.
It's still sunny in LA. In Detroit, it is getting dark. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. But I just want to take this time to ask you to just, number one, encourage the people who may want to write a book, whether they register for the conference or not. Just encourage people. And why would you encourage people to attend this conference? Even though this year is virtual, we're doing 2 half days so that people are not sitting at their computer for 8 hours. But what would you say to the people who are on the fence?
Yes. So for the people who are on the fence, the first thing I'm going to say is make a decision. Make a decision, and your decision needs to be, if you know that you have a story on the inside of you, if you know that, if you have a testimony, and if you have a burning desire to share that testimony with more people than you can physically reach with your mouth and with your hands, then you have a book. You have a book to write, you have a story to tell. And so go ahead and make the decision. And I like, there's a guy, Scott, his last name is Scott, but I remember he said, don't wait until things are perfect to move, perfect in the move. And so
I like that.
Go on ahead, make the decision, take the next step, because sometimes the things that you're worrying about in terms of on your way to becoming an author, you may not be revealed that next step until you take the one that's right before you.
Correct.
So go ahead and make a decision is the first thing that I would say. Be willing to invest. We've invested enough in our own misery, in our own complaints.
Oh, yes.
I know I personally have. We've invested a lot in a lot of things, doing things for other people. It's time to release yourself. Writing your book will release yourself. When I wrote my first book, I remember God sent a guy to me, I think from Chicago or Michigan. I don't even know his name. I don't know his name. I don't know. He didn't know me, but he came to me. He said, God said people are dying because you won't write the book.
Woo!
He said, God said people are dying because you won't write the book, because what you have to offer other people, what you're writing about, you've already come through, and maybe you're in it right now. And so I like to tell people a lot of times, don't hold deliverance hostage. Don't hold your own hostage. Don't hold someone else's deliverance hostage. Go on ahead and release. And the way you do that is you make a decision. The biggest thing is make a decision and be willing to invest. Be willing to invest your time, your energy, and your money, because
that's a good title.
In life is going to cost.
Yeah, that's a good book title too. Holding deliverance hostage. That's like, ooh, you better do something with that, or I will.
You done already gave me 2 book titles. One on seed sowing. Now this one, and a TV show.
Yes, and a whole TV show. Real Nurses of LA coming soon. You heard it here first.
Thank you.
All right, so tell the people where, if they'd like to support your book projects, anything you got coming up, tell them your website and all of your social media and stuff.
Yes. So I am Tenake Coard on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. I am, you can look me up, Tenake Coard. Those are the 2 platforms. My website, TenakaSCoard.com, and all of my books, 3 books on Amazon. The 4th one will also be on Amazon. The 4th book, 21 Affirmations of a Beautiful You, will actually be a freebie. It will be an ebook that talks about just confessions and being able to just stand up in who you are despite of your past. And all of those can be found on Amazon.com.
Thank you so much for joining me, sis. Listen, I'm fighting back tears because your story blesses me every time I hear it. And it's just good to know that somebody jumped and got out of the boat and said, look, I might lose my job. I don't know how I'm gonna make it when I come back from this conference, but I know I gotta be there. And that's a big leap of faith, because the average person would have been like, I'm sorry, my job won't let me off work. But that's not what you did. So, I mean, I honor you. I love you for that. That speaks volumes to the trust that you had in me, and you didn't even know me yet. You know, you had to trust that this was a conference of excellence and that it was worth almost losing your job, even though you resigned.
Right.
So for the people who are listening, if you're not familiar with the website, it's real simple. It's thereadingconference.com. Today is the last day to register for VIP. The VIPs, they actually get a swag box delivered to their home, and they get to spend Thursday afternoon with me for a very, very special VIP session. I can't tell y'all what we're gonna do, but we cannot do it at the conference, so we had to add another day just for the VIP. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Tanika, I know I'll see you there. And if y'all need any information, visit the website, thereadingconference.com. You can also go to virtual.thereadingconference.com. Tanika, have a good night. Thank you so much for being my guest.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me.
Send some of that sun from LA to me because we need it. Yes. Thank you.
Yes. All righty. Talk to you later.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.